Yeah, okay.
And
Across the rainbow, I found my halo.
Hey everybody, welcome to Show Choir Live. That was Shepherd Hill from the Northeast Show Choir Showdown 2015 at Andover High School, I believe. And hey everybody, this is Alex Hall. Here in Chicago, it's snowing, which is a thing that happens in late March apparently. And it's also very chilly in Boston, and we are with our very special guest tonight, Mr. Bubba, who is somewhere in the Boston vicinity. I didn't even ask you where you are. You're in the Boston suburbs, is that right?
I'm about an hour away from Boston. Yes,
Okay, gotcha. And what's the actual town called?
actually in Charlton, Massachusetts.
Charlton. Okay, and I'm here with my co-host, as usual, Mr. Adam Peters in Iowa City, Iowa. How's it going, buddy? We're both wearing navy blue.
You know, we great minds think alike, first of all, and secondly, it is not snowing here, so I'm doing much better than you, sir. Sorry, you're.
You are. No, you're doing very well over there. We're down to I'm down to 13 more days in Chicago before I move to California, and my apartment is starting to really get gutted here. My table is no longer existent. There's boxes. It's dark over there. I need to
It's it's very bare, but I mean, let's be honest, there really wasn't much to begin with.
Literally packing took all of 4 seconds, so that's cool. But let's talk about your weekend, Adam. What did you do this weekend?
Well, it was my first weekend off in 2014. It was 10 weeks of straight show choir madness, which has been awesome, but it was also wonderful to wake up in the morning and not have anything, which was very cool. But I almost got in my car and drove to La Crosse to go to Grand River Show Choir Invitational. I had to like talk myself out of it and tell myself, hey, you need to be a normal human being. You need to go get coffee, go get brunch, go just be normal, no show choir. So I did that for a while. I watched a basketball game, and then I
How's
ended up
that?
going,
What's that like?
you know, watching basketball is really interesting. Sometime I'll have to tell you about it. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, but then I came home and I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to. Someone gave me a secret link to watch a live stream of a certain show choir competition in Ohio, and I watched finals at Fairfield live stream, and it was wonderful.
So you
Um,
didn't quite completely escape, did you?
no, I did not. I definitely, my addiction took over, and I had to get to the good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was incredible because I think Fairfield is going to do this live stream for realsies next year. It was a really, really nice shot, really great audio. The top three, Loveland was incredible. Like their dancers were just insane. Jared and Tori did an amazing job. And then there was Naperville North, who, I mean, they've been around for 2 years, and they sound like one of the best vocal choirs I've heard all season. Their ballad is Flight, and I just started crying in my sofa here at home, thousands of miles away, or maybe not 1,000, like 800 miles. And then Twinsburg, Randy Lanou, Sesame Street. I finally saw it. It was,
Oh, I still have
and
not seen that.
Alex, it was pretty darn cool. Of course, it reeks of Randy Lanou and his wonderfulness and outlandishness. It was awesome, and it's probably one of the best sounding Twinsburgs I've heard ever.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great night, great weekend, chill. Got a little show choir. What about you, sir? Where were you?
Um, Well, I was here,
Doing?
which is weird, right? It's weird to say that. Sorry, I'm trying to fix. There's some people saying they're having problems with the stream, but I'm testing every single thing I can, and it's all good to me. And we've got almost 50 people on, so I'm sorry if people aren't seeing it. Then they're not hearing my apology, are they? But I was at home and just kind of taking my entire apartment apart, and that's kind of it. Today there was a moment where it was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and I was like, gosh, why do I feel like Show Choir Live is tonight? I'm supposed to feel like terrible at this point, but I felt pretty good. It's been a good day. Um, Mr. Adam, I'm sure you've got some results to run down before we get into things here.
I thought as the season goes along, like the competitions start going away. No, I mean this is a full list here. So let's start in. Here we go. At Sheridan, 5th place Whitehall Yearling, 4th place Alliance, 3rd place Matoaka Girls, 2nd place Southwestern with Best Choreography, and 1st place Matoaka with Best Vocals and Best Band. Indiana had their huge state competition, tons and tons of groups. So in the small mixed division, in 9th place Garrett, 8th place New Palestine, 7th place Twin Lakes, 6th place Newcastle Chrysler, 5th place New Prairie, 4th place Northridge, 3rd place Fairfield Fusion, 2nd place DeKalb with Best Visuals, and 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Band Plainfield. And in the large mixed division at Indiana State, 9th place Northrop, 8th place Carroll, 7th place Ben Davis, 6th place Brownsburg, 5th place Warren Central, 4th place Lawrence Central, 3rd place Huntington North, 2nd place Franklin Central, and 1st place with the sweep, North Central. Counterpoints. In New Mexico, the New Mexico Show Fest. Whoa. 3rd place, Cleveland. 2nd place, El Dorado. 1st place, La Cueva with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. At the Hanover Lee Davis Invitational, 4th place, Atlee. 3rd place, Kickitan. 2nd place, Midlothian. And 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Choreography, Manchester. At the Martinsburg Invitational, 6th place Musselman, 5th place Hedgeville, 4th place Spring Mills, 3rd place Tuscarora, 2nd place Ravenswood, and 1st place with Best Vocals, Best Choreo, and Best Band, Morgantown. Out in sunny California at the Los Al Invitational, 3rd place Hart, 2nd place Bonita Vista, 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Choreo, Burbank, In Sync. At the lovely Corn Palace in Mitchell, which Stephen Todd did let us know that we have to stop by on our way out to California at the Corn Palace. Mitchell, 6th place was Totino Grace Testostertones, which is the guys group, and I'm pretty sure that's like the first male group to ever make finals in the Midwest. I think, maybe. Somebody tweet me. 5th place, Grand Island. 4th place with Best Choreography, Papillion La Vista. 3rd place, Totino. Oh, that was Papillion La Vista South, sorry. 3rd place, Totino Grace. 2nd place, O'Gorman. And 1st place, Sioux Falls Roosevelt with Best Vocals and Best Band. At the Grand River Invitational, hosted for the first time by La Crosse Central High School, 6th place, Bloomington Jefferson. 5th place, St. Francis. 4th place, Janesville Craig. 3rd place, Bloomington Kennedy with Best Band. 2nd place, Millard West with Best Choreography. And 1st place with Best Vocals, the Onalaska Hilltoppers. Oh! I don't think that's their cheer, but I think, yeah, it's more of this kind of oh. Yeah. Somebody can correct me on that. Out in Fairfield, the Fairfield Crystal Classic Tier 2 Division, 6th place Taze Valley, 5th place Winfield, 4th place Bishop Dwenger, 3rd place Wapakoneta, 2nd place Ross, First place, Olentangy with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. And in the Tier 1 division, 5th place, sixth place Coleraine, 5th place Clover Hill, 4th place ETC, 3rd place Loveland, 2nd place Naperville North with Best Vocals and Best Band, and 1st place with Best Choreography, Twinsburg Great Expectations. At the Capital Invitational, 4th place South Charleston, 3rd place Clendenin Herbert Hoover, I don't know. 2nd place Riverside, and 1st place Cobble Midland with Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band. At the Herscher Invitational in Illinois, we've got 4th place Watseka, 3rd place El Paso, 2nd place Manteno, and 1st place Danville. Here in Iowa at the Hinton Invitational, 6th place Sioux Center, 5th place Lamar's, which is also the Blue Bunny capital of the world, 4th place Sheldon, 3rd place Bellevue West, 2nd place Westwood with Best Band, and 1st place Bishop Heelan with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. At the Springfield Southeast competition in Illinois, 6th place Springfield, 5th place Crete-Monee Girls, 4th place Crete-Monee, 3rd place O'Fallon, 2nd place Castle Girls, and 1st place Castle with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. At the West Delaware Invitational here in Iowa, 5th place Clayton Ridge, 4th place Western Dubuque, 3rd place West Branch, which is the home of Herbert Hoover, our 31st President of the United States. 2nd place was Fredericksburg. 1st place Keokuk with Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band. At the Andover competition in Massachusetts, 3rd place Cosby with Best Band, 2nd place Shepherd Hill, and 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Choreo, John Burroughs. And then finally, down in sunny Florida, at the Fame Orlando number 2, there was a tie for 5th place between Cypress and Lafayette Jefferson. 3rd place was Auburn. 2nd place was Oak Grove with Best Choreography. Shout out to Darren Dale. And 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Band, Cedar Rapids Prairie, the Ambassadors, and their awesome Peter Pan show. So yeah.
Nice, good job, man. Good job.
I feel like I had a good spark throughout that.
Yeah, I thought you might be done with that kind of marathon for the year, but you weren't quite done yet.
No.
So, my brother, who is on staff at John Burroughs and is one of the choreographers, as well as myself and about 4 others, including Jen, Eric sent me some clips of Burroughs' show from Andover, so I'm going to play a couple of those, and then we will get on to our interview. But here's a little taste of John Burroughs' Powerhouse 2000.
Okay.
As I say nothing to you, as I say nothing to you. They told me so long.
So that's the ending of the show there, where they have the girl band up on the top risers, all backlit, and people were loving it. So that must have
yeah, it looks like so rock concert-y, but I feel like that whole, I mean, Eric said that was kind of the whole vibe, the entire competition.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I meant to throw on Okay, maybe you can tell us about this, Bubba. Is it like this everywhere in Massachusetts? I watched the intro, like when the actual intro for Powerhouse, like when they were getting introduced to take the stage, was this huge, deep voice, and it was like this big, dramatic introduction, and everybody was so fired up. Is it like that everywhere in Massachusetts?
It's not like that everywhere. Andover Mark Mercer loves the drama. He loves the excitement, and he wanted to go out with the bang. This is his second year doing the competition, so he started that last year. It was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and my brother commented on it too. He was just like, before every group gets on stage, it's like this palpable energy shift, like because this introduction is so over the top and huge and dramatic and exciting. So,
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't want to take away from Burroughs, but I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to show the rock concert moment that I just witnessed yesterday on Twitter. I have to give a shout out to Millard West and Reeve Johnson because this tweet just popped up in my feed, and I watched this 20-second clip and was like, this is the most energetic thing I've seen all season, and I think it got retweeted like 200 times. So I'm going to hold up my little phone here. Let me start it over. It's pretty exciting. This is at the end of Millard West's show, and it's a clip of the band, and it's a certain dance break in the closer, and the band, well, you'll just see. Here it is. Let me get it up here. Let me push play. Let me make sure everyone. Yeah, let's see here. Is it playing? Hold on. Of course.
It is an awesome clip, though, if you guys have seen that. We need to try to find the link for that so we can post that on our.
Oh God, now it's not working.
It's all right. We'll find the link and we'll put it on Twitter.
Dang it!
That's
I'll
cool.
play it at the end.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, we're going to move to our main interview here. He's got lots of fans out here on the Twitter universe. Say hello to Greg, or as most people just call you Bubba, right?
Hey, yes, I am known as Bubba.
Okay, so where does that name come from? How did that start?
That started from one of my best friends in high school when I was a freshman in high school, and he just started calling me Bubba because I was a little guy and came back a big guy, and I just became Bubba, and it just kind of stuck.
So tell me about how you got your start choreographing and dancing in the first place.
I started choreographing when I was in high school, like a lot of choreographers do out there. I actually started choreographing when I was in high school. We had a junior high show choir in the high school that we went through because it was 7 through 12 at that point. So we just started. Basically we didn't hire choreographers back then for the junior high. So the dance captains and stuff like that would choreograph for the junior high, and that's how I started for the most part out here. So. And when I started, when I was in show choir back many moons ago, there wasn't a lot of show choirs out in this area, so there wasn't a lot to choose from.
What show choir were you in?
I was actually in Shepherd Hill.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I was in Shepherd Hill back in the very early 90s, late 80s.
What was your director's name?
The director's name is Connie Galley. She actually is still the director today. So it's kind of cool working with your director and becoming friends and coworkers and very very close friends. So it's kind of nice.
So you started choreographing in high school. Did you go to college for music or anything like that?
I did not. I actually ended up going to a community college out in this area for engineering, and actually ended up at UPS as a industrial engineer. So where I've been working at UPS for the last 20 years as a full-time job.
Okay, so is that your full-time job then?
It's my day. I call that my day job. I go there during the day, and it's the job that pays the bills for the most part, and something that I enjoy doing, but that's what I do during the day. And I just ended up choreographing and working with schools after school, after work. I worked nights at UPS for 15 years, working the late 9 o'clock in the night, 9 at night till 5 in the morning, so I could choreograph during the day, and with all the schools. So it was kind of interesting.
So, how did you? Well, who was your high school choreographer at Shepherd?
I had two high school choreographers. Actually, my very first high school choreographer was a very old, original Show Choir Camp America person. His name was Lamont Rigel, and he was a big inspiration for me. Actually, kind of crazy, but
You know where he's from?
I think he's from Syracuse, New York now, or somewhere in the New York area, upstate New York. But he was she got him from Show Choir Camps America the very first couple of years, and he did it my first 2 years in the program, 3 years in the program, and then we hired another person, Lynn Formato, which I met when I was in high school at Show Choir Camps America. So we ended up working. I had her for 2 years.
How did you wind up at show choir camps? Because I don't know that there's a lot of Massachusetts and Northeast people now, but it probably wasn't always like that.
No, and I wish it was, because we've been trying to get more kids to go. We're trying to get buses out there, but it wasn't always like that. So for the most part, we used to bring 5 to 10 kids out there back in the early '90s. Connie Galley, our directors, we used to jump on a plane and fly out and go there. And I've been to Ohio, Milliken, and I actually was at the very first Show Choir Camps in America in Walt Disney World.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as a camper.
As a camper, that's awesome. What year was that? Somewhere in the '90s, somewhere?
Oh, I had a picture of that, and I should repost that. I had a picture of the group picture.
Uh-huh.
And I just went back like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and it was kind of funny because I was looking at the picture. Now that was 91, 90, or no, maybe 93, 94, 93. I think it was 93. And I looked at the picture, and you go back and go, okay, do you recognize anybody from way back then? And I looked at the picture, I'm going, oh my gosh, that's April James in the picture.
Ha!
So
No, that's awesome. Who else? Anybody else in there in that class?
I posted the picture on Facebook and people started tagging it, which was kind of cool. But that was one of the things where I saw it. I jumped up. I said to my parents, "Hey, I'm gonna go down to Disney for show choir camp." Like, why? I said, because. So I jumped on a plane and went down, and it was just me that year. So.
Tell me about your process as a choreographer. How do you come up with your movement?
For me, it's very different. I work with a lot of schools in a small area. So, in Massachusetts, I'd probably say there's 30, 35 show choirs in Massachusetts, New England area. So there's not an abundance amount of show choirs and choreographers. So I work with 11, 12 of the schools that go and compete at the same competitions every weekend. So for me, I try to make each school very different. So the process is very depending on the student, depending on the group, depending on the vibe. For me, I definitely like getting into that first day, working the section with them, seeing how it falls, seeing what ability level they're at, and seeing what type of kid they are. Because definitely doing hip hop with kids that really don't do hip hop is not my style. Or doing heavy metal stuff that has a lot of, heavy metal tendencies, I guess, but different things that now, hip hop people don't do well. So it's just definitely seeing the type of kid is the process. I'm very organic. I'm a very organic choreographer.
Do you have a lot of say in design? Do you design a lot of your shows that you do at these schools?
Yes. I choose because my name's on it, and I have a big investment in the product. I really like to have a lot of the say, and the schools that I work with appreciate that. So it's nice being able to put my 2 cents in and saying, that song really wouldn't work well there, or let's cut half that song out because it's my music ADD is kicking in right now. So.
Do you prep a lot for your work, or are you kind of like feel it out and choreograph as you go kind of person?
Well, that depends who you ask, because people think that I feel it out and just kind of tends to go on the flow. But I do a lot of prep work. I do a lot of listening. I do a lot of research on the music before I get there. Have a good game plan in my head, blocking ideas and things like that. But when I get there, it is really organic for the most part. But there's always a game plan going into it. Um, and it's very, very important for me to make each group different.
Tell me about your blocking. How do you draw blocking charts? And I think this is gonna seg into my next question pretty well, which is what are the similarities there between blocking for show choir and then blocking for marching band, which I don't know if you call that blocking in marching band world or not. But Bubba also does visual design for marching band. So what's your show choir process, and then what are the parallels?
Um, I like blocking while I choreograph. That's why I've always done it. I've always, when I've choreographed a number, I block the kids into that spot. I see it. I watch it. I go, okay, no, that should be a partners. This should be windows. This should be, this group doing something. I block it as I do it. Um, Sometimes I come in. I have a director who loves to go, oh, where's your charts? And I walk in with a handful of charts. I go, here you go. While I'm doing, I'm using this chart now. I'm using this blocking one now. So he writes down the names and all that stuff. But sometimes I do. I have lovely Excel spreadsheet that I move the X's and O's around and make nice pictures and bring them to rehearsal with me and kind of have an idea where I want people. But sometimes I don't use them.
Right. Sometimes you get there and you just call an audible.
Yeah.
And then what are the parallels for marching band? Like, how is it the same and how is it different?
Um, it's really not that different because transitions are so important nowadays. Where back in the 90s when I first started choreographing, that people did, okay, you do one song, you choreograph it, you do the next song, you choreograph it, you do the next song, and they didn't have to coincide with each other. Nowadays, if you do that, oh, you get killed with transitions, and things got to flow well together. And marching band is a stickler for that stuff. You got to make sure you have the horn line in one section, you have the trumpets in the other section, who's playing the melody, and it's the same sort of ballpark. So as long as you understand the instrumentation, they're basically the same. Just with marching band people, you're dealing with 300 kids, or you're dealing with a lot of dots.
Is that like maddening, or is that fun, or like what is? Because I do envy the marching bands because I always want to be standing outside on a gigantic platform with a megaphone, and I'm like, okay, I could get into that. But how do you manage that many people? It seems crazy to me.
There's programs out there that do it for you. I mean, I use a program called Pieware it tells you every little dot for every single second of the song. I mean, you know exactly where this person's going for the next 15 minutes.
Does it automate or animate the transitions so you can see the flow in between pictures?
It automates it. You can add for the color guard. You add different uniforms. You add flags. You add. It's like this big enormous thing. It's really kind of cool. And like you hit this section, you want to have them do a little dance section. You can make the feet do the work, so you can actually physically watch it.
That's crazy. We need something like that in show choir. I've been talking to my brother about it. We'll see if we can't get it off the ground and out of the Google Doc and into an iPad. But we're trying to do something with that. But that's amazing. That would be really cool to have. That'd be a nice.
Kind of related topic. Do you like DCI then? Are you like a DCI geek?
I love DCI. I love WGI and DCI. I just enjoy because it's so. I mean, I'm a show choir geek, 100% down the road. My sister is a marching band, was the marching band director up the high school, and then she went down to middle school. And I work with her a lot with her winter guard programs, or middle school winter guard programs. And she, I just it's such a different out look at things. A totally different look at things. And today I was actually at a competition, and with my two middle school groups competed, and it was just nice to sit back and watch something different and go, oh, that's cool. That could be used for show choir. Let's tweak that a little bit. Let's find a way, you know.
There's middle school like marching band things going on. Oh my God.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I was in a middle school little parade marching band, but we like pulled it out for like the Veterans Day parade or something. It wasn't like, wow, competitions. That's crazy.
I'll give you $10 if you can guess what instrument I played in middle school marching band.
Trumpet.
Tuba.
Oh.
I'll give you $10 if you guess what I played.
Trumpet.
Yeah, correct.
Yep. I was a trumpet player as well.
So because you have so many show choirs in the Northeast, you say you might have 10 or 11 at a contest at a time. Are you judging very often, or are you just kind of going in support of them? And how do you do that? Are you going to warm up with all of your groups, or are you just hanging in the back of the house, or how's that work?
In Massachusetts, obviously, because I have so many, the judging thing hasn't really kicked off for me until the last couple of years, I should say. I was very fortunate this year to judge out in Franklin Central, which was awesome. So I ended up judging out there. I've judged Mount Zion before a couple times, but in New England, because they're all my groups, I just don't do it. You know, so I really enjoy jumping into their warm-ups, hyping the kids up, getting ready, having a good time, running around, watching them perform, run back to warm up, try to catch the next group on. You know, last night was crazy because I had Daniel Hand and Shepherd Hill back to back. So I'm like, I ran in to watch Daniel Hand. Halfway, right before awards, right before they were done, I'm running to warm up to try to make sure that they get a little bit of Bubba, you know, a little bit of pumped up, and it was just kind of cool. You know, sometimes it makes a crazy day.
Yeah, I've had some days that are about half of what you're talking about. It seems like that's a pretty common occurrence for you.
Yeah, but for me, it's about the kids. I really enjoy being with the kids, and sometimes, you know, one of my other buddies at his school I work with, he goes, "You gonna come to my warm up today?" I'm going, "I don't know how I can. I'm trying."
Right, right. Who are some other people who have influenced you as a choreographer besides your choreographers from high school?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know, my show choir camps in America experience was big for me because it got me seeing other people. Marty DeMont was one of the choreographers that I first saw, and his influence from a blocking standpoint and how he placed people on stage was just so different than what we were doing in high school at that point. Obviously, one of my choreographers, my senior choreographer, Lynn Primato, she's very big into theater. She worked at Buffalo University, and now she's doing New York stuff, directing a lot of theater stuff, and she influenced me a lot from the way I do things now, because I'm very theatrical, and we've always been very theatrical out in this area.
Go ahead, Ed.
I was going to say, it's so interesting to hear you say Marty DeMott, because I remember Marty DeMott at the very beginning of my like show choir life, and I feel like he's like doing other things now, and like a lot of kids don't remember who Marty DeMott is. So I really appreciate you saying that, because I think he does like maybe 2 groups, and he has a whole different kind of occupation. He's just doing other stuff. I mean, what years was he at SCA?
Well, I was at SCA. I'm kind of afraid to say this, but I think it was 89, 90.
That was the beginning stages. Good job.
Thank you. Yes, I'm feeling old now. But actually, that was the 91, because I was at Milliken that year. That was the 1 year we went to Milliken. So I was in Marty DeMont's group when we did the Addams Family, and we did Give Me Some Lovin'. So
Cool.
back then.
You also said that show choir, you just said show choir is kind of more theatrical out on the East Coast. Can you explain a little bit about that? I mean, before the show started, we kind of talked about, I said, oh, so John Burroughs was out there. I mean, they probably were completely different than all the other groups, and you said no. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I like to think that the East Coast has been doing a lot of creative things for a lot of years. We definitely have a wide range of show choir here on the East Coast because we have different styles. But Shepherd Hill has been doing creative, thematic shows since the very early '90s. And it's like back, and people remember, and I was talking to Eric Van Cleve at camp this year, and he was like, yeah, I remember that year in 1993 when Shepherd Hill did the Vietnam year, and you came out with these fences, and it was like cutting edge, and he thought it was it was a totally different thing. So, I mean, there's groups doing things like that. Obviously, now we have Daniel Hand out here who's doing more thematic shows this year. I don't want to give out what their show is, but because they're going to be competing at nationals this weekend. So, but there's definitely is a very theme-orientated show and theme-orientated group now. But there's a lot of other groups out there that are doing it, like the Whitman Hansons. There's a lot of groups that are just doing theme shows now. But Shepherd Hill's been doing it for a lot of years.
Shoot, I had a question that whole time. And what influences you in a theatrical way? Have you ever been in theater as a performer, or do you like to go to a lot of musicals? Or
I love musicals. One of my best friends that I when I got out of high school I hung around with a lot. He loved musicals. And we used to go down to New York. New York's only 3 hours away from us. Well, my wife drives; it's like 2.5 hours. But I was going to musicals every 3 months, seeing four shows a weekend. And I mean that was a big influence. But
what are some of your favorites?
My favorite musical is Tommy. I think it was one of my first musicals I saw on Broadway. And it was just amazing. Tommy was one of my favorites. I saw Crazy for You, the last run of Crazy for You, the last performance, and it just so happens that we were in, and I got a cheap ticket, and I was there for that final performance, and I'll never forget it, kind of thing, which is kind of cool. I just like a lot of different ones. Aida, Heather Headley. I sat, I think it's close. I think I sat 5 feet away from Heather Headley, and I was in love.
She's a former show choir kid from Northrop High School and good old Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
I have a question here that is something Adam and I have, or maybe it was Eric and I. Anyway, the question on Twitter is, what's Bubba's favorite DCI group? Before you answer that, because that may or may not be a loaded question. Is there a way where the DCI format works for show choir and you have these semi-pro summer show choirs that are from all over each region and they're all auditioned and they're all, during the summer traveling and competing kind of separate to the high school stuff? Is there a way that ever happens for show choir?
My wife was just yelling from upstairs because I think she's watching the show upstairs.
She's on about a 10-second delay. She probably yelled about the thing we just got done with. What was she saying?
I don't know. I just heard wah wah wah. So.
She probably heard that you said that she drives fast and is like, no, I don't.
Right. It's interesting because DCI Drum Corps is such a cool entity, and I have so much respect for what they do. And everybody always talks to me, do you think that, show choir can conform like DCI? Do you think, the score sheets, and do you think that we can make, all these she's yelling upstairs. I have no idea what she's saying. Anyway, but I think it's a hard thing because music and the arts, once you put it on a score sheet, it creates a totally different atmosphere. And I believe that music and show choir isn't a competition sport. It's the arts. So that question is such a hard thing for me to answer.
And that's another debate that I see on our Twitter feed all the time is show choir a sport, yes or no? And the way that you kind of just said this, but yes, it's an art, but it deserves the respect of a sport or any other school activity, right? Like, to think of it of a sport is almost kind of like to not really give it credit in a way that it deserves credit, like it's artistic. It takes incredible nuance and a lot of hard work at the same, just like anything else, but it definitely just, I think the argument mainly stems from getting the same amount of respect as sports.
Right. And I mean, it would be awesome if I, to Adam's basketball comment, I think earlier, but maybe that was before the show. But I mean, if we could just hit that basket, every time, and we know it's 2 points, we know it's a point, whatever, every time, that would be easy. But where art, one person can love purple and one person can like yellow, and they're both correct answers.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, especially judging so much this year, sitting on a panel with like these amazing directors that have their own amazing show choirs, and we sit and we judge, and we don't really talk about the groups that we're watching until after, and then to stand around and say, okay, well, I had this group in first, this group in second, and this group in third, and then one of the directors go, oh, well, I had the opposite, and then someone else said, well, I had something completely different. And it just, this season is so eye-opening in the fact that, wow, like, this is such a subjective thing that we all do. It's crazy.
Adam, did you just hear my wife peep in?
No, I didn't. What'd she say?
She just opened the door, yelled, Madison Scouts, and closed the door and walked out.
They've been doing better the last few years. I try and keep up through the summer. I don't really watch anything till the end. So like I've stayed pretty in the know the last few years, but I'm a big Phantom fan and a big Santa Clara Vanguard. And you never answered the question. Who is your favorite DCI?
I'm biased, and that's why my wife has always loved Madison Scouts. And when we go to drum corps shows, like, she is like standing up Madison Scouts fans, like 100%, and it's hilarious. But I'm biased because my sister was in the cadets of Bergen County, and I have always been 100% cadets fan. So,
well, yeah, I mean, on videos, I used to watch the Cavaliers and the Blue Devils and be really in awe of them, but then seeing, like, Phantom and Santa Clara live is just so incredible. It's just like video, just like in show choir. You can't watch a show choir on video and be, 100% that they're the best thing ever. You have to hear and see them live.
Yep. I mean, I love Phantom. Some of the Phantom shows are just stunningly beautiful. They're just beautiful shows. And then you got cadets who just come out and just do something a little bit left field sometimes. We're like, whoa, what's going on over there?
All these show choir kids are probably like, what the heck are they talking about? Why are they not talking about show choir? Sorry, kids, stop talking about marching band. DCI.
So I have a Twitter question that's kind of interesting. If you could choreograph for any group that you don't currently choreograph for, in any show choir across the country, who would you like to choreograph a number for?
I love to choreograph. There's actually not a single group. The more kids that I can get in front of and have a life experience with and teach, the more the merrier. I just love working with kids. So there really, honestly, there really isn't one group. Would I like to work with? I mean, the smaller the group is awesome. The bigger group is awesome. I just love working with kids. I mean, they're
That's
really,
amazing, amazing answer. That's awesome.
there really isn't one. There really isn't one answer. I mean, do I look at groups out here in the East Coast and go, oh my gosh, I wish I could choreograph them because I would just love to have them have the experience, and see them grow.
Here's a good question from Ashley. What's one thing that you would like to experience during your show choir career that you haven't yet? I like that.
Um, ooh, Ashley, lovely Ashley. That's a great question. I actually, one of the things that I've always wanted to do, and I don't know if this is the right place to say it, but anyway, I'll say it anyway. Hey, I've always wanted to. I grew up in the East Coast, and at Oliver Ames High School, they have this festival, this competition in November. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Hmm.
And it's kind of cool because all the New England groups come together before the season starts, and they bring in a clinician, and they choreograph these big group numbers, and it's just such a positive, awesome weekend.
What is it called? I feel like there was like a live feed one.
We talked about it because when Ellie Jordan was on the show, she had just gotten back from that.
Yes.
Yeah, Bay State Show Choir Festival.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah,
Yep.
that's why we know about that because
Yep.
we talked to Ellie about it on the show.
And it's just one of those things. When I was in high school, I was part of, and now 20-something years later, it's like one of those things. I just would love to earn the respect to be able to do something like that, and to just to be at that level would be awesome. But the issue is, I work with a lot of the kids, and we always try to bring in different people to work with these kids.
Right, yeah, because you know so many of them personally already.
Right.
Here's a question from Alex Wampler. Loves to ask this question, and I love this question. Any advice for students looking to go into show choir as a career? What advice would you give?
Dance classes, connections. As a choreographer, I take dance classes. Get as much experience as you can. Looking at different type of dance. Watch a lot of things. Go to the DCI shows. Go to WGI shows. Go to theater. Go to that really weird, thing that's happening. That's this offstage theater company that's doing this funky thing. Watch different people work. So that you have a wide range of experience.
Who are some people that you've seen work that you have learned from or been inspired by just watching them work?
My friend, one of my closest friends, I've watched him work in the color guard world, and he is it's awesome. Is Lenny Machado. I love watching work because it's all about the kids and the process, not always about the product, but watching him make the process be amazing, and at the end of the day, the product is even better because of the process. I feel is more important. When I was young, and trying to do everything, watching Blessed Sacrament do some of the stuff with their indoor color guard, watching them do things, and then dance classes. It's just things like that was the weirdest is the most important thing, I think. Different dancers, different things. YouTube, I loved it when YouTube first came out because I could actually Google hip hop dance and see something different. Being on the East Coast is not like LA, that's for sure. We're not going to get the different flavors that you guys get out there that we have here. So YouTube was a big help for me, that's for sure.
That's awesome. And I want to bring this up because I think it's important to talk about. Bubba, if you guys don't know Bubba, Bubba actually is an amputee, and he. I'll just let you tell the story. Why don't you tell us the story of how that came about, and then how do you deal with that, like as a choreographer?
It's funny because for me, being an amputee happened when I was 23 years old. I was in college. I had just got engaged to my wife. I was choreographing a show. I was choreographing a musical, Godspell. No, I wasn't actually. No, I did not choreograph Godspell, but I was working with show cause. I was working with Shepherd Hill, and I was working at UPS on the night shift. And I was on my way home, and I hit some black ice. For those people that are not from the north, people are from the California. Black ice is, when rain freezes over on the roads. It creates this ice that you really can't see, and I actually hit a guardrail and my leg was amputated on site when I was 23 years old. And from that, the support that I had from the students that I was teaching, and the co-directors, Connie Galley and my wife, my father, my family, my sister, they taught me that giving up wasn't an option. So from that day one, I was an amputee. I got my car accident. 3 weeks later, I was out of the hospital. A month after that, I was choreographing a cabaret group in this little town next to me, which was a lot of my friends. We're talking cabaret group. We're talking older people. I was choreographing somebody from the age 60 down to a 16-year-old, all in the same group. Hilarious. And I actually was part of the group, and that was 3 months after my accident. I jumped on crutches, and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't really do the show. You shouldn't dance in the show." I said, "No, I can." I said, "There's one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to teach the world. I'm going to teach these kids that something happening to you, something at this level, is not worth giving up." So that's when I kind of brought up the word can't. Can't's a hard word for me because too many people use it for too many things. Can't should not be in the vocabulary a lot of times. So that's when I really started that. My phrase is, and the kids know it, can't's a strong word, try another one. Just try another word. So we talk a lot about that. But so that was 3 months. I danced, I should say, on crutches, step touched in a cabaret, which was kind of funny. And then that summer, which was my accident was in February. That summer in June, I started I was lined up to choreograph Godspell, and Connie looked at me. She goes, "You're gonna be able to do that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I have a dance captain," and I said, "She'll be my legs." And I choreographed Godspell from a stool, and that's where I learned how to use my mind and not my body. And it was very important because I was so used to it being about me, about how I could dance, instead of being how they could dance. And I feel a lot of choreographers, when they're first starting out, that I try to tell them, I said, it's not about how good you can do it, it's about how good they can do it. I said, step back, watch them do it, teach it, and then watch how they can do it. And that's when I really learned it that summer, because I was unable to do it at that time. So I stood on a stool, and it was probably the most emotional summer that I had had, because it was just surrounded by amazing people and not allowing me to give up. And from that point on, it was just, awesomeness, I should say.
I mean, what was going through your mind like in those first couple days? I just can't even fathom.
I will say, Adam, if you ever have a chance to meet my wife, you need to, okay? Because she is hilarious. She is hilarious, and she is black and white. There is no gray with my wife. She is going to tell you the way it is, if you like it or not. And everybody knows that. She's
amazing.
I mean, Adam, have you met her? I think you have.
Yeah, at CA Ohio this past year.
So, am I right?
Yeah, she's pretty fierce.
So, I mean, that 2 days, I mean, we were engaged, and I had the second day in the hospital, a third day. Actually, no, I think it was about a weekend. They had to take something out of they had to redo something, and all the hard work that I'd put in kind of like put me back another week. And she looked, and I had a bad day. She looked at me. She goes, this ain't gonna happen. I said, you're gonna get up and you're gonna do it if you like it or not, And she just basically laid it on the line for me. And that was the one day that I mourned. and it's been over since, you know.
I mean, and you, the first time I laid eyes on you at SCA, I mean, it's just one of those uneducated moments of like I'd never seen a person that was missing a leg get up and dance, and for me it was such an eye opener. Like, first of all, it's not slowing you down at all. It doesn't really, it did when it first happened, obviously, but it was just so impactful. I cannot even imagine being one of your students and having you as a choreographer just up there. I mean, it's really inspirational. And your outlook on it is just fantastic.
Yeah, the kid. I mean, the kids. Like I said, it's about the kids, and they definitely enjoy me enjoying it. Because, if I look the wrong way at rehearsal and I let my guard down, they love to steal the leg. They really do. They you know, I was on a bus ride home. I think it was from Branson. We went to Branson, Fame Branson, the very first Fame event, and I was on the bus, and that bus ride back to the airport was like 3 hours. It was ridiculous, and we were all exhausted. And all of a sudden, I'm sleeping on the bus. And I had one of my students, and I wish I remember which one he was, but it was hilarious. And he's crawling underneath the bus, underneath the seats, so he could grab my legs, clip it off, and run with it underneath the bus. And I was like, "Are you serious?" They love
goodness.
Party tricks. If any of you guys ever come to the Shepherd Hill competition, it's awesome. And we run it in February every year, and in the band room, we call it, there's all our trophies hung up, and actually one of my old legs is in the trophy, in the middle of the trophies. It's been there for, I'd say, 4 or 5 years.
Your sense of humor about it is just absolutely amazing. Like, you are so inspiring the way that you can handle stuff like that. And it, like, when we first brought this up before the show, it's like, it's not even something that you're like handling or managing or dealing with. It's just like, that's you, man. That's just, this is the leg. This is what it is, and life is awesome, and your attitude has got to be so inspiring.
I got to tell you though, try to teach people that don't know you don't have a leg right off the start. And they forget. Some of the kids forget. They're looking at me, and I'm moving my legs, and I go, okay, point the toe. And they're not pointing the toe. I say, no, you have to point the toe, because it's my left foot. Please point the toe. But yours, I go, really? I go, my left toe doesn't point. Yours has to. So it is kind of funny at some points, because the kids forget. And especially the kids I work with, they forget. And they enjoy it. They're like, oh, yeah, man. And they all laugh, and they move on, and we keep on going.
It's probably very easy to forget when you are just such a gregarious, outgoing person, and you never let them see you sweat. And I'm just very, very humbled by all of that. Thank you for letting me bring that up, because I do think it's really inspiring. I think it's important to talk about.
It is, and the kids need to see that. No matter what happens in life, you can move past it. I really try hard to, with the kids I work with, it's more than show choir. It's more than music. It's more than this moment. I'm trying to teach them something that is important 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, Not necessarily just singing and dancing, but a life lesson.
Do you do clinics with groups that you don't choreograph? Like, do you ever come in and do workshops or do some show doctoring kind of work?
I do, but again, because I'm in this area, and I've been in this area for so many years, people don't. I mean, there's so many in the Midwest. There's so many people out there that, oh, can you come in? Yeah, drive me in for 10 minutes, or I got an hour drive. I'll be there in an hour. Where bringing somebody in like me, where, okay, you got to fly in, you got to do this, you got to do that. I feel that I was born in the wrong part of the country.
Well, your accent is amazing, so I disagree completely.
Yeah, I've already gotten like 3 text messages saying, "Oh my God, his accent is awesome." I was like, "Yeah, it's like that chowder accent," and they're like, "Yeah, have him say chowder."
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. But I mean, I actually clinicked I clinicked a group a couple weeks ago, and I just had a good time doing it. It was the night before a competition. They needed a little bit of Bubba, I guess. They needed a little bit uplifting, and they were a great group of kids. Shout out to Bishop Hendricken. They did awesome. But they're a great group of kids and working really hard, and sometimes they just need a little bit of fun, a little bit of fine tuning, and it was a great experience for me and them.
Well, I'd love to have you come in to Chicago and work with Prospect sometime. I think they would absolutely love you.
Yep.
If you'd be down. I think it's about time for a lightning round, wouldn't you say, Mr. Adam?
Yes, it is.
Wow, time does fly, doesn't it?
Yes,
It
I told you. I told you it goes like that. It is 9:02 Central, so we're going to go on to my favorite part of the show, which is called Lightning Round, and I will ask you as many questions as I can in 60 seconds on an invisible clock, which we do not monitor. And yeah, we'll just get through as many of these as we can. I kind of went like trivia style more than usual, so there might be some more trivia things than normal, but we'll just go through these as fast as we
Before
can.
you start that, I just want to let you know, and a lot of people know, trivia makes me very angry.
Good, good. I'm glad I'm 1,200 miles away from you then.
Yes.
All right, and away we go. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Little Mermaid.
What's what's
Gotcha.
what's your favorite Disney ride, roller coaster?
Space Mountain.
Good one. What's your favorite Disney park section, like Epcot or Animal Kingdom?
Good old-fashioned Disneyland.
Okay, Disneyland in California. What's the last thing that you ate?
Last time that I ate, my wife's amazing cooking. She's awesome. We had some sort of stew, something. I don't know. It was awesome.
Was it chowder?
No, I'm not a big chowder. Actually, no, I do like corn chowder, and but I'm not a big.
Good job, Alex. You got him to say it.
I tried. I snickered in somehow. What's the best show choir competition food?
Sausages. Sausages.
You guys have sausages on the East Coast?
Oh, yeah.
That's your competition food?
Yes.
Man, we're missing out. What's the best part about living in Massachusetts?
This is funny, but the weather. Except for this winter, but the weather. I love the change.
Every single person on the East Coast is looking at you like this right now. Okay.
Up on my roof.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. You know what? We're going to have one more of these winters before we can get those SSTs to flip. Anyway, multiple choice. Pluto is no longer a planet. It is now designated A, moon, B, an exoplanet, C, a dwarf planet, D, all of the above.
D, all the above.
It's a dwarf planet, sorry.
Oh.
How long does it take to drive from Boston to San Diego? How many hours?
28.
44. And what interstate would you be on the most if you took the fastest route?
I-80.
Route 20. I don't know.
Interstate 40 through Oklahoma City. The Red Sox last won the World Series in what year?
Oh, you're killing me right now. Because I should know that because I'm wearing a Red Sox shirt right now.
I'll give you a hint. It wasn't very long ago.
No, it was like 2010, 2011.
2013.
2013.
I was right?
Yes, you are correct.
I knew it was recent.
What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is never give up.
What's your life goal? I got deep all of a sudden, I'm sorry.
My life goal is to do what I love to do every day.
There you go. Who's the most inspiring president?
No clue. Not even
Herbert
going.
Hoover.
Hoover. Adam says Hoover. Name a fact about Iowa.
Where's Iowa?
Correct. Name a fact in general. Any fact.
Oh, a fact. That I'm bald.
What? All right, last one, last one. What's something we don't know about you, but we should?
Oh, something you don't know about me, but you should.
Fun fact. Any fun fact?
Fun fact
Sure.
that my senior year of high school, I split my pants in the last competition.
How did you get out of that? Did you just keep going?
Oh, yeah.
Never give up, people. You heard it here first.
Yep. Never give up. Oh, fun fact. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was a
Awesome.
great lightning round.
You won. I think you won the lightning round.
Wow.
You did a great job. I'm proud of you. Literally, I'm proud of you. I'm looking right into the camera and saying it. All right. We have a very big announcement tonight, something that we've been talking about all the way since November. We've been trying to hype this thing up, and I'm going to let Adam take it from here.
Yes, hello, welcome. Hi, I'm Adam Peters. No, on a serious note, last summer at Show Choir Camps of America, we, some good friends of ours, Jennifer Golsvig, Kurt Golsvig, in years past, they have done a little run that the teachers did every single year. This past year, we decided to take registration and a fee that would go towards an SCA scholarship. This 5K was, like I said, put together with Kurt and Jennifer. There was donations for the T-shirts by Tom from Envision Tees in Dubuque, Iowa. Big thanks to him. We had awesome support at both camps. Even Bubba and his wife, they donated food and snacks at the 5K in Ohio. Yeah, our goal was to raise enough money to have one full ride Show Choir Camps of America scholarship, which is like $750. After both 5Ks at both camps, we had a total of 2 scholarships. So this past fall, if you've been paying attention, we announced that to apply for the scholarship, all students needed to do was tell us what Show Choir means to them in any form. Essay, video, I joked, diorama, Venn diagram, anything, like liturgical dance, poetry, anything. And the result was overwhelming. We got lots of submissions over the past few months, and the hardest thing in the world was last week when Alex and I had to sit down and start reading all of these submissions. I am just completely blown away with some of the beautiful things that we read. It was so hard to even come to a few. What Alex and I did, we each picked 3 of our personal favorite submissions, and then we piled them all together and we sent them to a panel of 7 people, and we told them each to pick 2. And we have the 2 names here, but before we do, I just want to portray to you how hard this was. I'm going to read a submission that was one of the finalists, but isn't getting the scholarship. It was really close, but this poem that I read was the first submission I read, and it was so touching. Just listen to it. I think everyone can relate in some way. This is a submission from Abby White from Dudley, Massachusetts. She wrote a poem. Life's just not like glitter, poofs, and trophies. The darker side, I'll let you in, because it's a part of me that sometimes wins. Sometimes thinking they'd be better off without me because I'm slightly soft. Soft because of envy and guilt. Sometimes I want to find a way out. But one thing in my life that never subsides is my real family, just about 45. With singing and dancing, I can be free. With show choir loving, I can love me. For show choirs taught me to love myself, even if there is no one else, because singing and dancing is my own therapy, Singing and dancing makes me believe in me. So yes, it rains, yes, there's tears, but they're one thing I've loved for over 5 years. Show choir's the name, my family, my high, makes me not the same, no more run and hide. I mean, the first time I read that, I just started crying, and it's that kind of beauty that we read over and over and over and over, just kids pouring out their heart and soul.
Adam,
Yeah.
you realize that's one of my students?
Oh, that's one of your I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, and it's a very dear student of mine, very, very dear student of mine, and I'm sitting here reading this, and I'm like, okay, don't cry, don't cry. But
Oh my God, I honestly had no clue, but literally I saw that she was from Massachusetts, so I was like, maybe it's in one of his groups. I didn't know. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's just crazy. That was one of the most beautiful things. And she was a finalist, but now I'm here to announce the winners of the SCA 2015 SCL Show Choir Scholarship. The two winners are, drum roll please, from Marysville, Ohio, Connor Hall, and all the way from Wichita, Kansas, Aiden DeWitt. Connor and Aiden, we will be getting in touch with you. Your submissions were fantastic. Connor submitted a really awesome video he put together. Aiden submitted a really wonderful, heartfelt essay. I can't even tell you enough. The top 6 that Alex and I picked were just phenomenal. Every submission we read was phenomenal. Thank you so much for doing this, kids. It was a blessing and an honor to read it. Alex, take it away.
I mean, we went through about 70 submissions and narrowing it down to 2. I know it sounds like something we have to say, but it was moving. I mean, it was legitimately moving to read all the things that people have to say about what we do, and very, very inspiring stuff. And I only hope that we can do it again next year and give away at least 2 next year. I mean, it's something that I think is important. And yeah, I'm very glad that we got the opportunity. So thanks to you, Adam, and to Jen and Kurt Gulsvig, and to Tom Squad,
and Dwight and Sue at Show Choir Camps America for supporting us and letting us do it, and all the teachers and counselors who ran the 5K and donated the money. Those teachers busted their butts, and I hope we have even more teachers this year because it was super fun. We had a great time, and we had a little medal ceremony. It was like the Olympics. It was pretty cool.
Well, I hope you guys get to do that again at camp. I bet that's a blast.
Hey, I've got this tweet now. I said I would play it. I'm going to play it. It's going to work this time, hopefully. This is from Millard West's show. Yeah, they're just going ham back there, and it is amazing. Congrats to Millard West and Reeve Johnson, because that's probably one of the best show choir videos I've seen all year.
That is sick. That is just sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, we got to post that link because that's.
We do. We'll retweet it or something. Yeah.
That reminds me of back in the day of the Cal backup band just totally losing their mind at the end of the closer. That's always fun to see. To see the band gets to have as much fun as we do, right?
Yeah.
Well, next week we will be right back at the same time. It will be my last show from Chicago, for sure. Then we will be on to Yellowstone. So we'll have to figure out if we're going to do a show from the road. I hope we can do that. But next week we'll be back at the same time. And... yeah, what are you guys doing next weekend? Are you going out anywhere, Bubba?
I'm very excited about going to Show Choir Nationals for the first time. I've never been to Show Choir Nationals, and I'm taking Daniel Hand down there, and I'm looking forward to it, actually. So,
Awesome. Awesome.
But your life, your show choir competition life is going to be changed. Nationals is fantastic.
It's amazing. It's a great experience for them too to be out on that stage.
Yeah. I mean, I've been getting texts from my lovely dance captain down there. Give me a shout out, Andrew. He's hilarious. But they're a bunch of hardworking kids, and they're really looking forward to the experience. So, and I'm looking forward to going down with them. So.
That's a blast. It's a heck of a show down there. You guys are gonna have the time of your life. That's awesome. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Adam, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, I'm going to try and keep myself from not booking a flight down to Nashville to go see Nationals, but I think I'm just relaxing one more weekend, kind of picking up my life. If you would be at my apartment, you'd be scared because it is a disaster zone, and it needs to be picked up before I spend 5 days in a car and 10 days out in California.
Oh, you can do that later. Come down to Nationals.
Oh, yeah. I really want to. I really, really want to, but I think I need to be wise, so we'll see.
I will be judging Fame Chicago, which is great.
I didn't know judging Fame Chicago.
I know, right? I'm replacing someone. It's like a last-minute kind of thing, it's at an amazing venue in Waukegan. So, what's that theater called up there?
I don't know. It's Fame Waukegan, though.
Yeah, yes. I love it, though. Haven't been there since 2008, which was one of the best show choir contests of all time. Very pivotal moment in show choir history.
Wabanzi Valley wipe your face off your face moment.
Wipe your face off your face, which is kind of a bizarre visual.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pumped to go up. Genesee Theater, there you go. I'm pumped to drive up to Waukegan and get to hang up there with those guys. So if you're at Fame Chicago, come say hello at some point. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. So I've got some packing to do this week. I'm currently choreographing Chesterton's musical, The Addams Family, but they're on spring break. They're down in Nashville right now, actually, recording something. So I'll be off from the musical for a week, so I'm just getting my life together, man. That's all I'm doing. But hey, guys, thanks for hanging with us. Thank you so much, Bubba. We absolutely loved this episode. Thanks so much, dude.
Awesome. Anytime.
It was so great to digitally meet you.
I know. Maybe, hopefully, someday we get to meet live.
Oh yeah, we gotta see. Maybe we'll meet Cubs Red Sox World Series 2015. It's happening. It's happening. All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot. We will be back next week, same time, and yeah, we'll see you then. So, from Chicago, Illinois, Iowa City, Iowa, and the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.